Good morning. My name is Chris Fox, and I'm still alive. I figured I owe you guys something on the channel just to let you know, what's going on. I have been working really, really hard on a Kickstarter, which is about to go live, and on launching a concurrent YouTube channel. So we've had to prep a whole bunch of videos, and Mary's built a new intro, and I guess I'll put the link to that in the description of this video, maybe. And we're finally reaching a point where we're about ready to go live. But like the last few weeks, all we've been working on is these two projects. And of course, I've written another novel in that time too, because I've got to get that out. So I've been really, really busy, which is why there hasn't been a video. Now, on to the meat of the video and the clickbaity title. Do I still believe in writing fast? Dear God, yes! Like, I was on a podcast recently, and I haven't done very many podcasts lately, but did one the other day. And on this podcast, the question was asked, do I still believe in writing fast, or do I now believe more in craft? Because I've been focusing so much on craft, and it just floored me because it's not an or, it's an and. There's no reason that your writing should slow down, and in fact, there are reasons why it should not. If you haven't seen any of my videos on flow state, you achieve flow state by doing the same task ritualistically enough times that your brain masters how to do that, and so you can sort of slip into this Zen state, this flow state, what athletes call the zone. So I'm always trying to get into flow state when I write. Now, I am much more focused on craft, that's true, and I have produced fewer novels, but I'm actually writing a lot more words than I ever have in the past. So right now, I started adding up the stuff I've been working on. I'm averaging about 12,000 words a day. Keep in mind, much of this 12,000 words is world building. I'm creating articles and I'm writing rules for the RPG, snippets of short stories, working on the epic fantasy, Shattered Gods, off and on here and there. So I'm working on a lot of different things at once, but the total word count has gone way up. I write faster than I ever have. I believe that writing fast is critical to your success in a career, and I don't think it impacts the quality at all. It's like, I'll use the athlete analogy. If you've got Michael Jordan, when he's learning the basics and he was first learning how to play basketball, he did everything slowly. And then as he mastered things, he sped them up. When he actually gets on the court and plays and uses his craft, in his case basketball, in our case writing, he does it at speed. He does it as fast as he is capable of doing. He gets into flow state and he becomes one with that task. And so my goal, whenever I'm writing fast, is to become one with the words so everything melts away. Incidentally, that's been enormously easy to do in Dying World, in the Magitech Legacy series. This first-person character, Jarek, I get into his head, it clicks, and I can just flow and write, and it's super, super easy. It's the easiest thing I've ever written, and I'm having a blast with it. Contrast that to the Great Pack, where I struggle much more to get into flow state, and I think the primary difference there is in first person, I just have one protagonist. I just have to know that person, really. And in Deathless, I have, like Game of Thrones level point of views now. We've got like 20 some odd point of views, maybe more. There are a bunch of them. And so I'm juggling a lot more, and it becomes more difficult to get into and sustain flow state. Anyway, the long-winded takeaway is I do believe writing fast is critical. I'm a huge proponent of that. I don't think that your quality will suffer at all. You can certainly write too fast, but if you've taken the time to plan things out, when you sit down and you're looking at that blank cursor, you should be writing as fast as you feel comfortably writing. And how you approach that ultimately is up to you. For me, I go at speed. I generally don't stop to correct typos. I just, take care of those at the end when I do an editing pass. So like if I'm going to write a 2,000 word chapter in a sprint, I'll finish that all in one go. I'll start at the beginning of the chapter, write it all the way through to the end, and then I'll do one pass over that chapter where I'll just read it. And during that read through, I'm allowed to correct the quick typos. So like, any typos that I find, or, some clunky wording, I might fix a little bit, but then I just move on. And that's how I do it these days. I write a chapter really quickly, and then I edit it really quickly. So my actual writing time each day, as far as fiction goes, is not that long. It's like, 3 to 4 hours probably. But all the planning and the thinking and the working on various plot-related tasks, like timelines and character backgrounds and that sort of stuff, the stuff that we have to do no matter what genre you write in, that stuff takes time. And it's also not something that can necessarily be forced. Like I can't sit down and say, okay, from 3 to 4, I'm going to make characters. You can kind of do that, but oftentimes in my experience, it's more about inspiration. And so that's the part where I feel like I have slowed down. I used to have to get novels out really, really quickly because my backlist was super short and I didn't have that many books. So if I wanted to pay rent, I needed that sweet, sweet new release income. But once your backlist gets big enough, if you've got quality books in long series, you're typically, I don't know if it's typical, but you are able to make a living, and I know lots of people that are doing this, much more easily because you have lots of different series, and in my case, a few different genres. So I can make that consistent income and take a little bit more time between putting books out. And that's allowing me to do more world building and more thinking about the plot. And in that regard, I've definitely slowed down some. But as far as writing fast and the whole quality versus quantity debate, I really feel like that's a straw man argument. I don't think that speed has anything to do with quality. And if you spend the time to learn your craft, you can absolutely write at speed and get into that flow state, as I mentioned. Anyway, guys, I have 1,000,005 things to do. Kalen, by the way, is doing great. Those of you that have asked about my son, he's about to be 8 weeks old. We're not getting very much sleep. He still doesn't sleep through the night, so I think the longest I've had is maybe 6 hours in a night. Most of them are shorter than that, but I generally get at least 5. So I'm hanging in there, and it's a blast being a parent. That part I'm absolutely loving, and at some point I'll do a video to talk about that. But I just wanted to check in and let you guys know that I am still alive. I will have more information coming, and there's more videos coming on this channel too. Like I'm going to dissect my Kickstarter and show you guys kind of what I'm doing and why. So you can see whether or not it actually works. As of this, writing, I have no idea if this Kickstarter will fund. It could fall on its face. I can make $8. We'll find out. But I'm hoping it does fund and it does pretty well. And I suspect that it will, just from the research that I've done. But I've often suspected things will do really well, and then I'm like, oops, it didn't work like I thought it was going to. So you guys will get to see that in real time. It's very possible I might faceplant, which is always funny to watch. But I might do pretty well. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Anyway, guys, I do need to get back to the writing and the billion other things that I'm working on, so I'll see you next week or maybe the week after.